Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Educationopedia, the School of Future. Today we are going to cover the topic Chola dynasty, and we have already covered the Chera dynasty, and now we will see the Chola dynasty. Chola dynasty was an important dynasty of South India. Basically it was ruling present day Tamil Nadu, parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and parts of Kerala. Along with that, it has two more kingdoms which was known as the Cheras and the Pandyas, with which it had a tripartite struggle, and we will see to it that what things were there and why there was a tripartite struggle, and what were the basic things in Chola dynasty, who were the rulers, what kind of ruling sense they were having, what things they did. So first of all, we will see the origin of the Chola dynasty. Chola were also known as the Choda. In Tamil lexicon, Chola or Sauzi or Sai denotes a newly formed kingdom. Literary sources which tells us about the Chola dynasty are the Tamil Sangam literature. We all know that what is Sangam literature. More than 12,000 compositions have been written in this Tamil Sangam literature, and many things about by the court poets about the kings, rulers, and also about the people who had a common life there has been explained in this particular Tamil Sangam literature. Next is your Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, which is a book written by William H. Scoff, and in that book also many things have been mentioned about this Chola Empire. So from that book also we come to know. Next, the Pillars of Ashoka. You know that the Ashokan pillars are everywhere as they spread Dhamma and Buddhism. And then the Mahavamsha. Mahavamsha is the historical chronicle of Sri Lanka, epic poems. So there are many poems written in this book Mahavamsha, and the poems are basically written about the rule and the kings of Sri Lanka, and along with that we can also find that some of the Chola rulers who ruled there, about them also many things have been mentioned in those books. Next, the early Cholas. Early Cholas ruled during the Sangam period. Sangam period, you know that the 9th, 10th or 11th centuries you can call it as. Next is your Karikala Chola. Karikala Chola is the first ruler of the among the earlier Cholas, and he won many battles against Cheras and the Pandyas in the tripartite struggle. Defeated both Pandyas and Cheras in Battle of Veni, and built Kalanai or Grand Anaicut to divert Kaveri river for irrigation. Every day on Facebook or on YouTube you see about the Kalanai dam and how it is constructed, that till today its importance is maintained and it has not got any sort of damage. Next is your transition period, means there was a change between that particular period, and in that the Kalabras displaced the existing kingdoms and ruled during this time. The Kalabras or Kalabras ruled between the 3rd and the 6th century in the Tamil region. Next is your, we can see that the after transition period we are having the certain rulers. We will see to it that we are having the imperial Cholas. Now coming to the imperial Cholas, who were the imperial Cholas and what they did, we need to go through this, and we need to understand. 1 minute. Like imperial Cholas were the Chola who were ruling from the very beginning. First of all, we will see the first imperial Chola, the Vijayalaya Chola, who revived the empire, means he brought a change in the empire, and he ruled over from Tanjavur. So Tanjavur was his kingdom or capital. Tanjavur was the capital of his kingdom of you can say that the Tamil Nadu or the particular region which we talked about, he was ruling there, and from Tanjavur he was ruling, and he built the Soleshwar temple. It is basically dedicated to Lord Shiva. Next we are having the Aditya Chol first. Who was Aditya Chola first? So Aditya Chol first was the second ruler after Vijayala Chola. He was the son and successor of Vijayala Chola, defeated Pallavas and annexed Kanchi to the Chola Empire. Means Kanchi he has taken from the Pandyas and he has added it to the Chola Empire, and maintained friendly relations with the Cheras. So he did not fought with the Cheras, he had a friendly relations with them, and he did not try to disturb them, and neither the Cheras disturbed him. After Aditya Chola first came the next ruler, who was the Parantak Chola first. He captured Madurai from Pandyas, assumed the title Madurai Kondan. Madurai Kondan means who has conquered Madurai. Madurai, you know that it is a city in Tamil Nadu. So he conquered over Madurai, and he succeeded by Gandharaditya Chola. So his son was Gandharaditya Chola. He was ruling. By the year from after Gandharaditya Chola, the next important ruler of this Chola dynasty was Rajaraja Chola first. He captured by the year then 1014 AD, he expanded his empire to a great extent. Who? Rajaraj Chola first. He captured Karnataka from Ganga kings. So which ruler was ruling in Karnataka? The Ganga kings were ruling. So he captured this Karnataka from the Ganga kings, and after conquering it from the Ganga kings, what he did? He conquered Vengi from the Chalukyas. Next thing he conquered was the Vengi, and Vengi he conquered from whom? The Chalukyas. Next you can see that after conquering Vengi from Chalukyas, he destroyed Anuradhapuram, capital of Ceylon, and captured half of Sri Lanka. So he also attacked over Sri Lanka, and there he captured Anuradhapuram, that is the capital of Ceylon, and half of the Sri Lanka came under his control. Next he constructed the Brihadeshwar temple, which is now a UNESCO heritage site. He had a very strong army, and he built it very strong navy also. And after that, Rajendra Chola first, we have the Rajendra Chola first, we have 1 minute, let's see. Yes, after Rajendra Chola first, we are having the Rajendra Chola. Rajendra Chola was the son and successor of Rajaraj Chola first. He captured remaining part of Sri Lanka by 1018 AD. So half of the Sri Lanka was captured by Rajendra Chola, and the remaining half was taken over Rajendra Chola first, and remaining half was captured by whom? His son. Who captured the remaining half? His son captured. Next to that, you will see that after capturing that, he captured remaining part of Sri Lanka by 1018 AD, defeated Jaisimha II at Battle of Maski. Maski is, you know that it is in Andhra Pradesh. Next he captured Sri Vijay, Sumatra Java, you know, with his naval army. So he had a navy also. With his navy he captured this Sumatra. Next you have the parts of Malaysia were also captured. So he also attacked on Malaysia and captured that, and built Gangaikonda Cholapuram to commemorate his victory over North. So Gangaikonda Cholapuram was basically a title which he got because it is believed that he brought river Ganga to South India, and though he has defeated Pala, but it is impossible that Ganga might have gone to South India. He might have conquered Krishna or Godavari, which he brought to South India. That might be the reason. That's why he is called the Gangaikonda Cholapuram. As we know, the importance of Ganga is equal to Krishna and Godavari. We repeat it, the Gange cha Yamune chaive Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri. So these all are of equal importance. So that's why he has got the title of Gangaikondan or Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Gangaikonda Cholapuram served the capital till the end of dynasty. So this was also becoming the capital. Defeated Mahipala of Pala dynasty. So he fought with the Palas of Bengal, and there he defeated the Mahipala. He assumed the title of Gangaikonda Kondan. So he got the title of Gangaikonda Cholapuram or Gangaikonda Kondan. Next is your we are having, after this we can see that Raja this year we are having the Rajadhiraja Chola. So what is this Rajadhiraja Chola is? He performed Ashwamedha Yajna. So Rajadhiraja Chola was the son and successor of Rajendra Chola first, and he also performed the Ashwamedha Yajna. You know what is Ashwamedha Yajna? It was performed by Lord Rama, and it is basically a type of yajna in which a sacrificial fire is there. Along with after performing that rituals, a horse is left and nobody catches that horse. Whichever kingdom catches that horse, wherever it goes, it has to fight with the king who has performed the Ashwamedha Yajna, and he has to defeat him. So he defeated and killed, so Rajadhiraj Chola was defeated and killed by Chalukyas at Battle of Kuppam. So Kuppam is in Andhra Pradesh. So in that battle, Rajadhiraj Chola was defeated and killed by the Chalukyas. Next is Rajendra Chola II. He declared himself as the monarch after Rajadhiraja. So Rajadhiraja Chola, after that, who became the king? Rajendra Chola II. He defeated the Chalukyas again at the Battle of Kuppam. Next, after him came the Virarajendra Chola. He defeated the Chalukyas and built a pillar in the victory of Tungabhadra. So in Tungabhadra, he built a pillar of victory. What he did? He built a pillar of victory, and in the Tungabhadra he built a pillar of victory. Next, that you can see that Vijayaraj Chola, he defeated the Chalukya king Someshwar first. So who defeated Someshwar first? The Chalukya king Virajarendra Chola, and he married his daughter to Vikramaditya VI. So Vijayendra Chola daughter was married to King Vikramaditya sixth. Next is your Adhirajendra Chola. He was the last ruler of the Vijayala Chola dynasty, and after that nobody ruled. Next after that, the imperial Cholas, we are having the Adhirajendra Chola. He was the last ruler of the Chola dynasty. Next, we are having the later Cholas. In the later Cholas, we can see that the Kulotunga Chola first. He led military campaigns in Kalinga. Kalinga, you know, it is in Orissa, and fought battle with Vikramaditya sixth. Next comes after Kulangatta Chola first, Vikrama Chola. Vikrama Chola recovered Vengi from Chalukya. So Vengi was under the control of Chalukyas, and from him, from them, the Chalukyas, he took control again over Vengi, which is in Andhra Pradesh. Next, after Vengi, what he did, Vikrama Chola came. He recovered Vengi from Chalukyas. Next is Kulotunga Chola II. He was the son and successor of Vikrama Chola. So Kulotunga Chola I, his son was Vikrama Chola, and Vikrama Chola's son was Kulotunga Chola II. So again he gives the name to his son as Kulotunga Chola, and he was the son and successor of Vikrama Chola. And after Kulotunga Chola II, Rajaraja Chola II came. Airavateshwar temple was built during his period. So in his rule only Airavateshwar temple was built. After that, Rajaraja Chola II came Rajadhiraj Chola II. He did many civil uprisings were recorded under his rule, and means the people were going against him. Conflicts with Pandyas increased gradually. So he had to fight with the Pandyas, and with their fight, the fights increased, and there were more and more fights with the Pandyas. Next, Kulotunga Chola III. After that, Kulotunga Chola II, Kulotunga Chola III, who was the son, I think so, of Rajadhiraj Chola, and he was coming to the throne, and he defeated Pandyas, Cheras, and Hoysalas again, fought with Jatavarman, Kulasekharan, and sacked Madurai. So again he captured Madurai after fighting with Jatavarman, Kulasekharan, and he Sundaran Pandyan defeated Cholas and regained the empire. Again the Sundaran Pandyan defeated Cholas and regained the empire. Next comes Rajendra Chola, the Rajaraja Chola III. Rajaraja Chola III, Chola territory reduced drastically. Means now the Chola territory was being captured by the other empires, and his kingdom decreased. You know that there was tripartite struggle, and this thing was going on. Sometimes Chelas were having the highest land, sometimes Cholas were having the highest land, sometimes Pandyas were having the highest land. So depended upon Hoysalas for survival from Pandyans. So Rajaraj Chola III was to depend on Hoysalas. Hoysalas were the rulers, and from Hoysalas only he needed support to survive from Pandyans. So Pandyas were attacking on the Cholas, so from them the safety was totally depending under the rules of the Pandyans. Next, Rajendra Chola III. Hoysalas turned hostile, means the Hoysalas were taken into control and defeated by Pandyas, and the Pandyas defeated Rajendra Chola III, and Chola empire came to an end. And after that, again you know that the Pandya empire must have came into existence. So this was all about the Chola dynasty, as you have seen, and in this chapter we have completed all the things what has happened in your Chola dynasty, like the origin of the Chola dynasty, early Cholas, transition period, imperial Cholas, later Cholas, and how they ruled. So this is all about your Chola empire. I hope you understand the lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.